Hi guys and welcome back to my channel Popcorn Reviews. I'm Farhad. If you're new to this channel then please smash that subscribe button now, and we are a family of more than 500 now, so thank you so much for your support. And I saw that you had enjoyed that comparative analysis that I had given for the film Forensic, Hindi as well as Malayalam. So I thought why not to continue this trend, and so the comparative analysis that today that I am going to be providing is for the Hindi film Operation Romeo, which is an official Hindi adaptation of the Malayalam film Ishq. Now, just a little bit of background actually. I hadn't watched Ishq when it was out. In fact, I just watched it like a couple of months back in preparation for Operation Romeo, and I was absolutely blown by that film. Uh, the entire setup that was there was so intimidating and so real that you could easily place yourself in that situation in the Malayalam film. So I was of the opinion that this will be a difficult adaptation, to even to consider it, even if it is a frame by frame copy. And at that point, I hadn't watched Operation Romeo, but even if it is was a scene by scene copy, uh, it wouldn't exactly come out the way it is if the skills are not in place of the director and the writers. They needed to go all out, and I felt that Operation Romeo is a bit of a mixed bag. It begins well. It begins on a good note, which where the two characters, are introduced. The two main protagonists, the Siddhant and Vedika Pinto. I think they were introduced, and it was going well. But the tricky part was yet to come. The tricky part was that that entire sequence in which they are harassed throughout that night. I think that portion was very well done, in the Malayalam version, in which, Shine Tom Chacko was absolutely outstanding. He was intimidating, and he did make your blood boil. But at the same time, here, that tension was not there, and I wouldn't want to believe that I knew what was coming, which is why I felt that way. No, I think it was the writer's prerogative, to make it as interesting as possible. So the first half, in which that entire setup is there in that one night in which they're harassed, I think the character of Sharat Kelkar, he was good, but I think they were playing very safe. They were playing very safe, and what that happened was that it was watering down the impact of what the original had. In fact, they should have gone ahead and pushed the envelope. You should have made that uneasy atmosphere that was present, that uncomfortable atmosphere that was created in the first film, that actually made a viewer a part of the film, and was what if it would have happened with us. That feeling was missing, I think, in the first half of Operation Romeo. Thankfully, the second half is much better. I think the entire sequence in the house, of course, the Malayalam version is excellent, and the entire sequence that is there in the house in the second half, primarily Ishq, which is the second film, which is the Malayalam film. It is a film about two halves basically, and the revenge that eventually transpires in the second half about two halves, and both of the halves are excellent here. But in Operation Romeo, I think the first half was a little flat. It didn't quite create that atmosphere, that tension that was present, in the first film. In the second half, though, it was getting better, and that entire sequence in the house was good. It wasn't bad. The setup was good. I think the screenplay had more elements of keeping you engaged and engrossed in that second half, leading up to the eventual finale, which I think was excellent in Malayalam film, and I was absolutely blown by it. I think it was probably the best final act that I'd seen in probably a couple of years. I think it was that good. It was brilliant. That slap on the face that you did get for all, that toxic masculinity that was there, that slap on the face that you got. And here it was replicated in a frame by frame copy in the Hindi version. So I feel the second half was much better, much more truthful. But I think the tricky part definitely was the first half. where the tension needed to be created, which wasn't the case there. I think coming to the direction, I think the direction was good in Operation Romeo, although not excellent. I think the first half was a missed opportunity, as I'm repeatedly saying. The second half, yeah, it was quite good. Second half was quite good, although not as good as the Malayalam one. Definitely, Malayalam one was at a different level, but it was still okay. It was still good. I was still engaged in that film in the second hour. I felt the music was a big letdown in the Hindi one. I felt the background music needed a better score, and it was watering down the impact I felt in the Hindi version as compared to the Malayalam one, which was much more engrossing, and the background music was actually enhancing the scene. Every scene was being enhanced in that. Coming to the performances, I felt uh, Vedika Pinto, I think she did a good job, an impressive debut in the Hindi version. I think Kishore Kadam was okay. I think the role was reprised here in the Malayalam one by Jafar Induki. Jafar Induki. So I think Jafar Induki did a fantastic job. Kishore Kadam was okay. Again, it was watered down. Somehow the script didn't allow them to push the envelope a lot. Same happened with Sharat Kelka. I think he's a brilliant actor, but here somehow I felt he was just shackled a bit. He was just held back for some reason instead of pushing it, which made me respect the performance of Shine Tom Chaco, to a complete next level. I mean, he is absolutely brilliant in that Ishq, and you actually see a comparison here and you come to know that what a great performance that was. Same with Siddhant. Siddhant, I think, did a pretty good job here. He did a fine job, although he lacked the innocence of Shane Nigam in the original film. I think Shane Nigam was absolutely brilliant, and you could see that he was gullible. At the same time, he was very proud of his masculinity. I think here, I don't think he was very innocent or gullible here. I think that element of the writing in the Hindi version was a little, you know um, missing, I would say, in the characterization simply. So, whether I would recommend Operation Romeo or not, only to people who haven't watched the original. If you're still privy to watching films with English subtitles, please go and watch the original Ishq that is there, present on Amazon Prime, as opposed to Operation Romeo on Netflix. Operation Romeo is still a decent watch, I would say, not a bad watch, but when you have the original on your fingertips, why would you go for a remake? So that is that. And if you enjoy my review, please like the button, smash that like button, and please visit my website Popcorn Reviews for a detailed review of both Ishq as well as Operation Romeo. Popcorn Reviews with a double S. Let me know what other films you want me to discuss. I am working on a couple of videos which you have told me, so you are going to see a lot of me in the coming days. And please subscribe to the channel. I think it helps a small creator like me. So then, until next time, thank you so much.